Hey everyone, this is Daniel from Phone Arena with the HTC One X Plus video review. That's a pimped up version of the One X, which shipped as the first phone with a quad-core processor back in the spring, but arrived on USO with a dual-core Snapdragon S4. With the One X Plus here, both the US and international versions support a 1.7 GHz quad-core Tegra 3 Plus processor. This curved unibody chassis introduced with the One X stays absolutely the same in the One X Plus. It fits your palm very nicely, and the cascading style bezel makes the front look seamless. HTC calls it Infinity Display. Thanks to the polycarbonate housing, the handset is very light and also pretty thin, with firm grip allowed by the soft touch finish here on the back. We have the black version, which is a finger smudge magnet on the back. They're also great in white versions, like with the One X. Since we have a unibody design, the only openings around the side are the MHO port here on the left, the audio jack up top, and the micro SIM card ejector hole on the upper back here. As for the rear, the only thing sticking out is the camera module, ring fenced in red here to match the Beats logo at the bottom. The capacitive keys here underneath the display are pretty responsive to the touch and also painted in red to match the overall accent style. The metallic lock power key at the top is almost flush with the surface, so accidental presses are taken to a minimum, but the volume rocker on the right is flush too, which makes it a bit difficult to feel and press when you're not looking. There's a high resolution 2 megapixel front camera now, capable of HD video recording, and a helpful LED notification light next to it, indicating missed calls, messages, or charging status. The excellent 4.7-inch Super LCD 2 display hasn't changed, which is good since it is probably in the top 3 of the high-def LCD mobile screens. It's a 1080 by 720 pixels affair, bringing pixel density to 312 ppi, which means crisp text and discernible detail. The strength of this display lies in its high brightness as well, while visibility outside is improved by seemingly low screen reflectance as well. When we add the good color representation, high contrast, and excellent viewing angles, the HTC One X Plus screen is close to the best out there. It is now protected by the thinner and less brittle Gorilla Glass 2. HTC has graced the One X Plus with a version of its own Android UI overlay called HTC Sense 4 Plus here, applied on top of Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. The Sense UI is the most uniform looking of the manufacturer interfaces, though some find it a tad too much skinning. Thanks to Google's Project Butter, in Jelly Bean the interface runs fluid without any hiccups. So what does the Plus in the UI version bring now that we don't have on the One X? Now we don't have multi-screen mode like on the new Samsung and LG handsets, so things like Smart Stay, S-Beam, QMemo, and Pop-Up Play they have. On the other hand, HTC hasn't messed up with a great thing, putting its own H-Voice speech recognition of sorts, let's say, like Samsung does with S-Voice or LG with Q-Voice. Weather in New York.
It's 8 degrees and overcast in New York.
The HTC addition to the new Sense 4 Plus interface are aggregated views in the gallery and in the music app, which bring together your local content together with the one with in social networks and cloud services you might have subscriptions to, like Dropbox, Facebook, and SkyDrive here. Compared to the international One X, the NVIDIA Tegra 3 Plus quad-core processor in HTC's flagship is clocked a step higher, now at 1.7 GHz, and the graphics processor clock is boosted too, resulting in benchmark scores within the best out there, like the Optimus G or the Note 2. Compared to the US version of the One X, which runs dual-core Snapdragon S4, the One X Plus scores much higher as well. Unfortunately, since it is still with the same 40 nanometers process compared to the above-mentioned phones 28, 32 nanometer ones, the HTC One X Plus gets pretty hot on the heavy load, especially around the metal camera area, which at times makes it uncomfortable to hold while gaming, for example. We have 1 GB of RAM compared to 2 GB in the competition high ends, which means you won't be able to have the endless list of open apps they allow. Yet we never felt the need to close anything manually. The phone did it for us. As you can see, we got 7,397 on Quadrant. Very high result, up there with the Optimus G and the Note 2. As we mentioned, the phone manages its memory by closing everything but the last 8 apps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's it. Everything before that gets closed quickly, so you don't feel bogged down. But if you want to open an app and you've opened more than 8, you have to relaunch it. The 64 GB amount of internal storage is where the HTC One X Plus really shines, and it is probably the most important feature for a handset that doesn't have expandable storage. We have about 56 GB user available storage from the get-go, which should be plenty for most users, and a definite advantage before the competition. HTC supplies both Chrome, that comes with Jelly Bean, and the stock Sense browser on the One X Plus. Both didn't give us any trouble scrolling, panning around, or zooming, as you can see. There's a read mode similar to the reader one in Apple Safari, which allows you to strip the AdSense pictures and only the text is left. There's also this bar here at the bottom. When you try scrolling up, you can save the page for later reading. And the browser has full Adobe Flash support. As you can see, you can enable or disable the Flash player from here. The phone warns you that it will slow down performance and so on, but nevertheless, you can have a full-featured Adobe Flash support, which shows you can have a cake and eat it too. Having Adobe Flash on a Jelly Bean handset, which is a great choice for us consumers. Internet connectivity is provided by Qualcomm's Radio, which supports 42 megabits per second HSPA plus downloads and LTE download speeds up to 100 megabits per second for certain carrier versions of the One X Plus, like the one for AT&T. Here's the reading mode. It's very similar to the one we have in Safari called Reader. It takes out the pictures and ads and only leaves the text in an article for easier reading. We already mentioned that the music player and the gallery aggregate your TuneSpeaks and video from different sources under one roof. But in the music player, this is less evident, only allowing you access to your 7 digital music store locker, plus the TuneIn Radio, and you can't mix and match playlists among them. There is SoundHound embedded in the music player. You can start it from here, get info about the song directly. And the play interface, as you can see, is easy to operate, good looking, but the only equalizer presets it allows are turning Beats audio on and off when you plug in the headsets. HTC says that this mode delivers deeper bass and crisp vocals, and that's precisely what it boosts. This time there is a big surge in volume when you switch Beats on, unlike on the One X, so it really makes a difference. The One X Plus loudspeaker is strong and fairly clean, even at the maximum level. Video playback supports DivX X80 files out of the box, but up to 720 HD definition. This is a DivX 1920 file, it can be played. And this one here is 720, and it works.
Mr. President, we need a Hail Mary pass.
MPEG-4 files work up to 1080, as you can see, with no problems. The default video player interface allows you to adjust screen brightness directly from it. And here you can also take a screenshot during video playback. There's no zooming option while playing, or the ability to watch a video while doing something else, like on Samsung's handset of late. What you have is Beats Audio, which can be turned on when you plug in the speakers, and you also have trimming functionality, which only works with videos you've captured with the phone's camera. The 8 megapixel camera module with 2.0 purchase, what we find on the HTC One X Plus, accompanied by an LED flash. The Image Sense ISP is governed by the typical for HTC's One series unified interface. You can take a picture or a video directly from one and same interface. We're in HDR mode now. We also have panorama mode and slow motion video. There's low light and macro modes as well, and a number of other adjustments you can do with pictures and video. Unfortunately, the same issues that we had with the One X are present on the One X Plus 2, which could be expected as we have the same camera unit. Contrast and saturation seem too high, and shots of the clouds, for example, turned out purplish instead of the gray they were, especially visible in high dynamic range areas. With the HDR mode turned on, photos get much better exposed, but it is quite slower than normal. Indoor shots turned out fine, with no over or underexposed regions or weird hues. Over the photo, noise suppression software lowers the detail a bit, however, and the LED flash is not particularly strong, even from a 5 feet distance. 1080 video capture is also a mixed bag. While frames per second have reached the typical 30 number outside, which was an issue with the One X, and the focus is no longer as jittery outside, there are plenty of artifacts to go around. Color and saturation are also of the mark in video mode. Going inside, this jittery autofocus we know and don't laugh from the One X is back here too, and it took us several trials to make it work as it is supposed to. Frames per second count fell down to 22 inside, which is also inferior to the other high-ends out there. As advantages, we would point out the very fast exposure compensation when panning around from light to dark objects, and continuous autofocus works well for a change. The handset focuses very rapidly when an object appears in the frame closer to the lens, and vice versa. We can't say that HTC took a sad song and made it better by upgrading to the One X Plus, as the One X handset is pretty capable. HTC, however, changed the specs where it most counts, and as a result we have a handset that can go neck and neck with the seasonal Android flagships in everything but camera performance. The overclocked quad-core processor might be still a 40 nanometers affair, but it delivers benchmarks on par with the Optimus G and the Note 2, and unlike the G, the HTC One X Plus ships with Jelly Bean out of the box. The HTC Sense 4 Plus doesn't get in the way of the unique Jelly Bean features like voice search in Google Now, and the company even leaves users the choice whether to go with the Chrome browser or use the HTC One, which has full Adobe Flash support with a handy switch to turn it off. Considering the generous 64 gigabytes of storage the One X Plus comes with, more than any other flagship at launch, we would have wholeheartedly recommended it as one of the best Android handsets out there right now, if it wasn't for the subpar camera performance. The fly in the ointment here is that the camera has stayed unchanged from the One X, so you can expect some questionable white balance measurements and video artifacts. As it stands now, the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Optimus G offer similar features for the price, with better camera performance. If you're not a big shutterbug though, but rather into media consumption, the One X Plus couples one of the best LCD screens out there, with 64 gigabytes of memory from the start, so you can enjoy your video collection on the go. This was a video review of the HTC One X Plus from Phone Arena. For more information about this and other handsets, you can visit us at phonearena.com. Thanks for watching.